The library is open and I can't wait to spy on some book lives. My fellow nosies, let's see how messy this one gets. This one is called Are You Going to Love Me? A Waynesville Love Story, and it's by Aubrey Pinn. Before I even start getting into anything, I'm going to just go right to the triggers of this book because it does have quite a few. It is dealing with a lot of gang-related topics because the main character is in a gang and the female MC has also been surrounded with gang activity as well. So that means that it's going to have things related to that, so triggers related to that, so drug use, drug abuse, prostitution, stuff like that. There is a mention of trafficking in this book, but you don't see any on page. There's going to be murder, there's going to be violence, and on top of that there is like panic attacks, anxiety, and that kind of thing. So if that also is going to be something that bothers you, you're not going to be the target audience of this one. Just give it a miss. Take care of yourself. If you do read this book and you happen to like not look into the first couple of pages, they do have helplines and stuff like that inside. I think it's like after the contents page. Okay, so this is about Maximus. He has been just released for being in jail for like 6 months, and he ends up almost immediately right back in jail, sitting for 4 years for a crime that he actually doesn't commit. And it's at this time where he decides that he needs to do something that is going to change the trajectory of his life, because he is gang affiliated and he does keep winding back in this same situation and his life is not improving. And he also has to deal with the fact that family is not always what you're told family should be. Sometimes your family are the ones that are hurting you the absolute most. And then we have Eden. She is also in a really tough spot in the beginning of this book and has her heart broken. Not in the way you would think. It's not a love thing. It's a family issue. She wants a better future, but she just doesn't know how she's going to get there. Everything around her has told her that all she's going to have is loss. And so it's really hard for her to try and scrape her way up out of that mindset. And it's really hard for her to learn how to trust others as well. This skews her ability to know who is for her and who isn't. Both of these two characters are trying to make a way out of their current situation, and that's where we are really finding them. So let's just jump over straight away to the things that I don't like. I would love to know why Augustus treated Maximus the way that he did from his perspective. I'm not really a fan of like loads and loads of POVs, but I think this would have actually helped to elevate the story if we had even just one chapter from his perspective, considering how far that he went and the impact that he had on both the characters in the book and the actual story itself as well. I kind of felt the same way about Eden's mom as well, because being a bad mom is one thing, but she was actively and intentionally ruining their peace and their lives, and really there's no explanation given for it at all. And I know that some people can just be bad people, but because of the impact, it really felt like we ought to know something, because some of the things that happened were so wild that I felt like it demanded an explanation, and the book was long enough that it could have gone into that. Especially because there was a part of the book where I felt like it lulled a little bit. I would say maybe like around sort of the 80-ish% mark. I was thinking it could be done already, but then as I carried on into the book, I actually liked the way that it ended, so I'm glad that it didn't end where I thought that it should end. But my point is, it lulled enough where we could have gotten a nice explanation about what was going on, the motivations behind the character. And that brings me to the world seems closed off and small, and it's because the side characters, they just have minimal things to do. So it's like, yeah, they're there, but they don't really feel like they're all that thought out. Like, what do they do afterwards? Like, for instance, they have a friend called Fatima. I felt like we could have heard more that made her feel like a real person in this, because the main characters are thought out so well. I found also the first couple of chapters, like maybe the first 2 chapters, to be kind of confusing due to some of the sentences feeling like they ended abruptly. It felt like it should have been a part of a longer sentence, so it ended up making me like have to reread the sentence because my brain was trying to figure out like where is the rest of the sentence, but it was a complete sentence. It really did slow down the pace. It was breaking up the flow of reading. But after that, I didn't have any issue. I don't know if I just got used to it and my brain just caught up, or if the sentences actually changed, because I didn't actually check for that. Okay, so let's move on to the fun part, the things that I loved about the book or liked about the book. So the chemistry between the 2 characters, Eden and Maximus, was on fire. They really understood each other and they felt really connected to each other in such a nice way. They felt like they were just so drawn to each other. They felt like magnets meant to be. It was also a really great portrayal of how people can be living in survival mode, but it looks so different on different people, because both Eden and Maximus, and not even just their characters, you could include Eden's sister as well, Daisha, if you wanted to, because you could even include the bad characters and how they turned out. They also were living in survival mode, and it had a complete different look on all of them. Some you might have looked at and thought that they were totally fine, and just the portrayal of it was something that I really liked about the book, and I felt like the author had really thought about this and put it onto paper so well. This is also one of the few books that deals with parental issues in a way that feels real, and it considers how these relationships are in reality. They did a really good job here. It really considered the effect and impact it has on both parties, especially like in closer to the end where you find out the feelings of the person who was wronging the main character and how everything ended up. And then even when it doesn't go well, it was all handled so well. It made me feel as if this was a snapshot into someone's life, like I was peeking in on someone's actual real life. And I know that's what most books are. It's like a section of their life. Sometimes it can include their entire life, but this really felt like it. Even when I said in my negative section that there was a part where it sort of lulled, even that added to the feeling that I'm really looking into somebody's life. And so it's a 2-parter. It's a positive. Someone might read it and not carry on, and it would be a shame that they dropped off on it, because it's worth a full listen. Then I also liked that while they were showing aspects of society that may be considered negative, the book offered help as well. It showed real care and humanized a part of society that can be easily written off. I feel like they can be written off as one thing just based off of something like geography, how they grew up, who their parents are, that kind of thing. Again, it just feels like Aubrey Pinn was really considering her subject matter as well while she was building this story. And also she includes links, phone numbers, text number services for individuals that might need help with like any of the topics that are raised in this book. Some of these I mentioned in the list of trigger warnings. You can see that she's not just trying to write a book, put it out there and take everybody's money, but she's really considering what she's writing about. She cares, and she's got a message to also tell us. So I'm pretty sure that how I have spoken tells you whether I liked this book or not already before I even get to my rating. And it's all the reasons that I just said. I'm definitely going to read more of this author's books. On Are You Going to Love Me? A Waynesville Love Story, I rate this a solid 4. It's really good. I would recommend it. And also, we're going to get to the bit that you probably care most about. I would give the spice rating a solid 4 as well. Again, we are going on the quality and not the amount of scenes. However, this one does have a lot of them. If you like that in your books, then you won't be disappointed here. You're going to get all aspects, and it's pretty steamy. I haven't given out a 5 yet, and that's gonna have to be some really crazy stuff. So this is a really solid 4. This book had a lot going for it, and I think that the biggest thing it had going for it was Aubrey Pinn and her unique way of dealing with some really serious, tough issues. Now we're done. On to the next.